Clement's Homebrew coming at you with a beer review. Boy, I haven't done one in a while, so we'll see how this goes off. I've got a beer I've needed to review for a while. It comes from my neighbor Matt. He's actually from Guam, and this beer is from Guam. It is from Carabao Brewing. It's the HADAL. It's their very first barrel-aged beer. It's a bourbon barrel-aged beer at that. It's an Imperial Stout at 9.9% ABV, 22 IBUs. They also have toasted organic coconut in there and Ghanaian cacao nibs. I assume that's how it means it's from Ghana. So we'll see. This should be fun. It is almost a year old since I received it, so it's got a little bit of age on it. So we're going to crack this open and see what it's all about. Had a small hiss on it when I opened it. It is a 9.9% ABV beer. It is 22 IBUs. All right. Yeah, I think I can get most of that all in there. Very good. Get everything off the bottom. Actually, I see some good bubbles rising up on it, so I know it's carbonated. And it's got a good half finger to a finger head on there. You know, kind of a little deeper than a khaki color. It's pretty dark, but I wouldn't say it was black. You know, it's a deep mahogany for sure. Let's get the nose on it. Now, it's still very cold, and there's going to be more aroma coming, but I can tell you right away, I got some nice chocolate type quality coming off it from those cocoa nibs, and I did get some dark roast coming up as well. And surprisingly, I still get kind of a cocoa vanilla type scent of it off the toasted coconut, which is cool because, you know, it's been some time. Yeah, it has a really deep, rich kind of scent on it. It has just the lightest kind of qualities of dark fruits, and I would say they're more towards like a mission fig, something of that nature. But then it goes back to mostly that chocolate and that roast quality. Smells good. I'm gonna get a nose on it some more later, but I'm gonna dive on in, so cheers. Okay. Now, one thing that's could be surprising to some, you know, that would get into this, not to me really, is kind of a thin mouthfeel. This is very first barrel-aged beer, let alone being bourbon barrel-aged. And but what doesn't surprise me, it might be partly because of temperatures. One thing that I've noticed in the hotter equator type areas is they don't make as heavy or thicker beers. They don't go down as well when you're those high temps. And more often than not, I found stouts and things of that nature having a little thinner quality in those areas. I think that's by design. I could be wrong, but that's what I've noticed, at least as I've been, you know, I go down to Cabo every couple of years. Oh, but it's very nice. It has a nice dark roast on it. Almost brings in almost like a coffee quality. There's so much of the deep roast, which is just wonderful. And the toasted coconut is absolutely there. It acts almost like a creamer to that dark roast in a way. And that chocolate's in there from the toasted coconut, the toasted cocoa nibs, I should say. And it's just enough to add to the flavor, gives it a little bit of nice chocolate quality. It's not, you know, a super complex in terms of some of those chocolate flavors. But it's also very tasty, though. It is absolutely present. Yeah, I'm digging on it. You know, and for a first go at a bourbon barrel-aged stout, I'd say they did a really nice job. I really love that they brought in these darker roast, a lot of it, to give it that really roasty quality, those deep, darker flavors. I'm going to sip on this for a while and I'll come back. By the way, you can see here, Carabao Brewing was established in 2018, so they're fairly new. And you can also see, I mean, this label's great with the fish, and you can see right there is kind of like the island of Guam and where they're located. I thought I'd show you this fish again. I believe this is the HADAL snailfish. It's out of the HADAL zone in the ocean, which is like the deepest, darkest zones. Like the Marianas Trench, I think, would be part of the HADAL zone. And you can see this is almost like a ghost-like looking fish. They're like a whitish pink in color. So that's kind of cool, very different. And I think the concept here is that this is a deep, dark beer, you know, which is kind of cool. That's a great concept that they came up with. Just had one of the ducks fly over the fence. Just realized I was still here. We've been having ducks flying into the yard of late, as well as we've had wood ducks, if you're familiar with those. Maybe I'll put a picture up over here. Coming into the yard, particularly mother wood duck with her baby wood ducks have been coming in. So I've been throwing them sunflower seeds. She seems to really like it. This is a really nice beer. It's not going to be crazy way out there, you know, like some of these beers with lots and lots of layers, but I so appreciate the design on this and those deep dark flavors. I like the cocoa nibs on there. That's great to have the chocolate quality. I like the coconut. It's not going to be strong because it's so dark. There's other flavors that are going to overpower, but it just brings that nice creaminess, like putting some half and half coconut or something like that into your coffee, which is really nice, and it's just light, so it allows all those deep rich flavors to come through. I think it's really well balanced. It's a nicely designed beer, very tasty. So in terms of style, how would I rate this? It's an Imperial Stout. I've got to rate it pretty nice. I think it's a really well made beer, super well balanced, super easy drinking, so big points for that. I'm going to give it a 92. It's an excellent beer. And then overall, I'm going to give it a 91. There are other things, you know, that I'm going to like better, but it's still going to be in that upper 10%. I think this is just a super well crafted beer, and I'm really digging on it. I don't know if you're going to find anything from them. I recommend you go to Guam, do some diving, you know, and maybe some surfing, whatnot. I know they make some other beers and supposedly some pretty good ones, but this is HADAL from Carabao Brewing out of Hagatna, Guam, if I'm saying that right. This is Kevin Clements Overy saying life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you in the next beer review.